I hope you're ready. Hide your electronics, but make sure to keep your eyes glued to the screen. It's time for PJ and Mega Man 7.
Hey, everybody. I am PJ, and this is Mega Man 7. I'm going to be assisted by the couch here. They can introduce themselves. Maybe.
I guess. Well, I'm MechaRitcher. I'm just here to make sure Rush does bad things.
I'm Colonelfatso. I'm here to not make sure that Rush does bad things.
Oh my goodness. I'm Ion, and I'm here to yell at PJ.
Perfect. All right. So, if we're good to go, we'll get started in 3, nope. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, welcome to Mega Man 7. It starts off with this, this pretty lengthy cutscene where Otto jokingly gives Mega Man the most indestructible helmet in the Mega Man universe, and then takes it back and gives him this blue thing instead. So I guess we'll just talk a little bit about Mega Man 7. It is by far the most unpopular speed game in Classic Mega, and it's a pretty unpopular game even casually. Most people don't like this game. I think it was released, shortly after, like a few months after X2. So I think people had this expectation of the X games, and then they were presented with this, which is quite a bit different. But Mega Man 7 has a lot of depth. It's actually a really great speed game. So I'm really excited to show it off. I'm going to be playing the 100% category, which is a really uncommon category for Mega Man games. Generally, it's just like any percent, and then sometimes Buster only. I think like for Mega Man 6, it's like 20 seconds different for 100%, and in Mega Man 5, it's sometimes the same category, depending on what you do. So it's really uncommon to actually have a 100% category. And it's very different. The stage order is entirely different. We collect, I think, 8 extra upgrades, and some of those require multiple visits, multiple unlock criteria. And we actually use everything that we collect except for Proto Shield. So it's a really cool category, and I'm excited to show it.
Yeah, like, there's a ton of things in this game with, like, how each of the weapons interact with the environment and things that you just don't see normally. Like, when you play normally, if you don't try every weapon at a bunch of different spots, you're not going to see. But to get 100%, you have to see most of those interactions. So if you're someone that played through this game like one time, or you've only seen it in an 80% run, this is going to be worth watching, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So at the end of Mega Man 6, spoiler alert, Wily's put in jail, and he just broke out. So Mega Man's upset, and he's going to go catch him. There are 3 different ways to end the intro stage. You can either end by taking damage, which I'm going to do, or you can end by killing Bass, or by or just by timing out the fight. And Bass will be like, I see, you're just as strong as they say. But it's a little bit faster to end by taking damage. This is Mega Man? You better tell me who you are?
No, why?
Bass. So I'm playing on the English version. Gameplay-wise, it's identical to the Japanese version, but there are some issues with the cutscenes in this game, which we may or may not talk about later. But I'm playing this version because I like it. All right, so we're starting with Freeze Man first, because by the time we get to Junkman stage, we need to have beaten Freeze Man and Cloud Man. And starting with Freeze Man is just the only way that we can follow weakness order, basically. And you do not want to use the Mega Buster more than you absolutely have to in this game, because it's pretty terrible.
Yeah, it does less damage than most other entries in the series, and I don't know. It's just not as good of a weapon.
Yeah, it takes longer to charge and does 2 damage fully charged instead of 3. Okay, so this thing here is a rush plate. If you collect all 4 rush plates, then you unlock the super adapter, which is a really cool upgrade. We'll be seeing actually a bunch of it later, which is nice. And now we're gonna go, hopefully, get, okay. Get hit and come back here
Yeah.
and get rush search.
Yeah. So like, you don't necessarily need rush search, but it does save you a whole bunch of time because it's either you get rush search and dig up the items that you need for 100%, or you go buy them from the store.
Yeah.
And there's no good way to like duplicate money or anything like that. So it's either grind for a long time or you just dig up stuff like we're about to do in a second. If you dig in specific spots, Rush will get like the secret items or whatever that you could get from the store normally. And if you dig anywhere else, he'll dig up like random power-ups and things too. Or sometimes, you know, junk in cans and whatnot.
Sometimes S-tanks, sometimes extra lives. There's a bunch of stuff that Rush can dig up, and we'll be talking about that more later too. There's no indication for like what you can, or where the hidden items are. You either like own a Nintendo Power subscription or you buy them from the shop, basically.
The freeze fight is really cool to do Buster only.
Is it?
It really
Yes,
is.
I see.
It's really
I
hard.
see.
It's pretty tough.
All right, we'll
So
get
fun you had to do it again.
Yeah.
we'll just get that death out of the way. Yeah, Freeze Man has the pretty classic AI pattern of jumping whenever you press the fire button. And he also won't take action until you take action at the beginning of the fight.
Yeah, he's very reactive, which is interesting. He doesn't just flow through his own cycle or pattern. He kind of reacts to what you do. But he only does that on a surface level, like he reacts to button presses. So if you do like Peach is doing, like you jump and then shoot, you'll get him when he tries to jump over your shots. Here we go.
All right.
Nice.
Much better that time. Yeah, so the Charge Buster does 2 damage, fully charged. Bosses have 28 health. Lemons do 1 damage, and a half charge also does 1 damage. So just from a damage perspective, the Buster is pretty terrible. But the lemons also, lemons are just the uncharged pellets that you shoot, the yellow things. They also travel really slowly in this game, and they fire at an inconsistent height, because when Mega Man walks, his gun position actually bobs, and it fires out of his gun position and not at a set height. So sometimes the lemons will just completely miss the target. It's really inconvenient. So the first few stages are pretty rough as you accumulate weapons, but the weapons in this game are extraordinarily good.
Yeah, which more than makes up for it. Like, pretty much every weapon in this game is very, very useful. Except for the Proto Shield.
Except for the Proto
Yeah.
Shield.
Because it's like you have a shield and you can just use your Buster, so it's like the Buster's already not great, so.
All right, Burst Man stage is immensely complicated. There's a whole bunch of like one-off glitches and unique bugs that exist only in this stage, and none of them are positive.
No. So the main thing that's kind of an issue speed-wise with this level is that you can't see it now because it hasn't kicked in yet, but there is fluctuating water levels.
Yeah, it starts right now.
Yeah, so the rate that you go through the stage, like if you take a different amount of time, the water will be at different heights, and that's really important for later. We're about to get to it.
All right,
Like if you had got here at a different time, the water would have been all the way up and didn't have to wait for that part. But when you have to buster down the crab,
Yeah.
there's not a lot else you can do. It just takes a while to get to that part of the stage. And this is the big room right here.
We're gonna have to take an extra cycle here now.
Yeah, I think so. If you have to stop for that, you're gonna have to.
Oh, he shot a lemon. I could have gone.
Man.
I could have gone. But
Yeah.
a death here takes you all the way back to the right after the crab screen, basically.
Yeah, the crab is the checkpoint. Oh, you should have kept the
Yeah, I
fish
could
alive.
have. I could have. I don't want to lose a minute from bubbles.
I don't blame you. No.
I guess something to keep note of, like, it might look like there were opportunities to maybe slide across spikes, but the invincibility period in this game is extremely short. So
Oh, yeah.
you have less freedom to do that than it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have 60 frames of invincibility, so you have exactly 1 second of invincibility after your hit. The recoil animation is also really short, so damage boosts are very good in this game. Like, combined with the terrible buster and enemies having a ton of health, damage boosting is great, but you have to do it in a pretty specific way or else you'll just die.
Yeah. Like, it's really good to take damage to go through enemies and whatnot, but using it to go across, like, spikes and things like that is really, really finicky. Because if you don't just jump immediately after you touch the spikes, you're probably just gonna
You're
die.
just gone.
You're dead.
All right, so Burstman gives us the Danger Wrap, which is my favorite weapon in the entirety of classic
So
Mega Man.
cool.
It fires a bomb inside of a bubble, so it floats, but you can fire it in 3 different trajectories, or you can not use the bubble and you can drop it as a landmine. It does a ton of damage and has ridiculous utility. It's just a fantastic weapon. We're gonna be using it pretty much all over the place for the rest of the run.
So, like, there's an extra thing about the Danger Wrap, right? Is that, well, when you drop the mine, it'll just stay there for a good bit and enemies can walk into it. Or in some cases, you can kind of just walk up to them and spam it, which does, like, an astronomical amount of damage to them. It's incredible. And of course, like, because it fires a bubble, you can trap enemies in it too. And they just kind of float there. You can push the bubble around. You can crash it into enemies or just have fun with it if you want to.
Yeah, so Cloudman's stage has a really cool gimmick in that you can kind
the
of
weather.
influence the weather. Nice, got the shot.
Yeah, those little floating weather dudes that bob up and down, if you hit them with specific weapons, most of the weapons don't do anything. But in the case of Freeze Cracker, the weapon from Freeze Man, it makes it snow, which is nice because when it's storming, it's hard to see a lot in this stage, honestly. And there's a section coming up ahead
Made it.
where all these things that are covered in ice, you normally couldn't see them, which makes Cloudman a very difficult stage if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it causes a lot of lag, too. The platforms being invisible, because there's like a foreground object around Mega Man that makes them visible, and that it slows the game down a lot. So it's prettier when it snows, but it also reduces a lot of lag.
Yeah. The lag wouldn't be such a big deal if it didn't have all those birds that drop all the mini birds on the screen.
Yeah,
They-
one of
they
those things
decided-
hatches, just die and try again. You'll be faster.
They're like, this is the spot where we put all of the eggs that spawn like 20 enemies. This is good.
All right, so this is Proto Man. We need to get to the Proto Shields in 100% because it's a thing that we can get. And in order to do that, you have to visit Proto Man in both of the places. So once in this stage and once in Turbo Man stage, and then you have to fight him.
Yeah, he gives you like little hints as to where you can find some other things too, which is neat. Like he just has some nice little dialogue, but
Yeah, his hint here is to try using the fire weapon in the forest.
I don't.
He's a terrible person.
I don't know if I like that.
No,
advice.
I don't like that advice.
No.
So what we saw in Burstman's fight is that it's probably the biggest flaw in this game, I would say. The bosses are either completely trivial or super, super long and boring. Because most of them have like this really long flinch animation when you hit them at their weakness. So Burstman got recoiled and dropped the bombs on the ground. And they usually get a bunch more invincibility frames. So the fight's just like really slow and non-threatening. But there are some interesting ways to work around it. So if you hit Cloudman with the Danger Wrap, he becomes encapsulated in the bubble and floats to the top of the screen and then falls down and then floats up to the top of the screen again.
Which is the way that most people probably fought him with the weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing PJ did was like, if you just drop the landmine, there's no bubble for him to get stuck in, so you get the same damage, but you don't have to wait for him to like float up and then pop and fall all the way down. So
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
And there's a similar abuse on Junkman too, using the Thunderbolt. So the Thunderbolt's a really great weapon. It fires this orb of electricity that will split once it hits somebody, so it hits twice sometimes. It's pretty much an insta-kill on most of like the low tier to medium tier enemies in this game.
it's a very fast kill if you just stand in front of things and spam it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole thing about it dealing extra damage is there's the large shot, and then it'll split into the little ones, and both of the little ones can hit the enemy at the same time. So if it's an enemy that doesn't get invincible when it's hit, it just eats all of that damage. Or in the case of the boss Junkman here, his invincibility doesn't really last all that long, So you'll hit him with the first shot, and then you can get him with the second one too. It's a little cool.
All right, so that death is intentional. Junkman stage is one of few stages in this game that branches. So you can either take the bottom path there to get to Junkman, which has an extra elevator and all of this molten lava or slag, whatever it is. It's really, really a terrible path that you'll never see in any percent run. But the rush plate is down there, and there just happens to be a checkpoint right before it. So we go and we grab the rush plate, and then we go up through this path, and this path is faster, and it has rush jet.
Yeah.
And rush is extraordinarily good in this game. Rush coil is really fast, really powerful. It launches Mega Man really high. And rush jet is also pretty interesting.
Like, I would say the jet's a little unwieldy at times, but it does allow you to just fly over a bunch of rooms. Like, you could fly over this one, but that little snake dude in the middle makes the game lag like nothing else.
Yeah.
So most of the time, you don't want to do it.
That's what the danger wrap does.
Yeah. It just kills everything. Destroys it.
All right, so Junkman also has a flinch animation, but if you hit him with the split part, I don't know if Ian mentioned that earlier. I was focusing on not dying.
Yeah.
But if you hit him with the split part, he doesn't actually take the flinch. We do have to reset his pattern once because there's not enough time before he begins his invincible phase. But yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
As you may have noticed in the stage select screen, we only have access to 4 Robot Masters off the bat. We have to do this little intermission section and go fight a clown, and then we get access to the other 4. So that's coming up next. This weapon is probably the most notorious weapon in the game. Junk Shield is the destroyer. It creates these 3 orbiting junk satellites, and each of them can hit multiple times.
It destroys all of the enemies and the frame rate all in one button press.
Yeah, so it's a really powerful weapon. It's great if you're playing casually and you just need like a quick get out of jail free card. Just like pause, equip Junk Shield, press a button, and all the bad guys go away.
Yes.
But in a speedrun, I basically never want to use it because it's multiple sprites, and when they hit something, they create more sprites, and you can't get rid of it in a hurry. When you press the fire button again, it detonates. It stays on screen for even longer.
Yeah.
So it causes a ton of lag, and it uses a lot of ammo, which causes problems with weapon drops. So I'm going to try not to use it whenever possible, but sometimes you just need to use the best weapon.
Yeah, if you're selective about which rooms you use it in, the lag's not that big of an issue, but the weapon drops are definitely a big thing. Like, you're using it to destroy every enemy that dares jump at you, and if they all drop ammo, then it sucks. You just lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of with PJ on that, and that if you can kind of dance around using it, it's probably for the best not to.
Yeah, and the other weapons are so good in this game. There's usually another viable alternative. The most important thing here is to give shout-outs to Second Plant Man. This is the Robot Museum. There are a bunch of other Robot Masters from 1 through 6 in these tubes. But for some reason, Plant Man is stuck in 2 different tubes. And I don't know why, but I get a kick out of it.
And the song that was playing is like a very long medley of like a whole bunch of different old Robot Master songs. But you only hear like 5 seconds of Cutman's theme. So I recommend going and listening on YouTube or something too, because it's very nice.
Danger Rap.
Danger Rap's the best.
It's important to decorate the door afterwards. All right. So, things are going to get a little bit interesting here. Ordinarily, you would go to Slash Man next because Slash Man is weak to the Freeze Cracker. We're going to go to Shade Man instead for purposes of the 100% route. Shade Man is weak to Wild Coil from Spring Man, who is obviously not dead yet, but he's also weak to getting punched. And we've completed the super adapter. We have all the rush plates, so we're gonna punch Shade Man to death instead.
Like if there's anybody out there that is either like had trouble with Shade Man or fought him like speed-wise quickly with that stupid coil strat where you have to position yourself properly and everything, this is gonna be the most cathartic thing you've ever seen. I know it was for me to see PJ just punch the heck out of the bat. Oh my god.
By the way, PJ, thank you for playing the correct music.
Yes, you're welcome. Yeah, so there's an Easter egg that I'm sure chat is yelling about. If you hold the B button when you choose Shade Man's stage, Shoutouts to Van Puken, the best Mega Man 8 mini boss. Then you get the Ghosts and Goblins theme instead. But the Ghosts and Goblins theme doesn't sound great with the Mega Man 7 sound font. And after having heard several thousand hours of the Ghosts and Goblins theme in my life, I am content to listen to the best track in classic Mega Man instead.
Yeah, like, the Ghosts and Ghosts theme is great, but like you said, it's not good in this game. And this track is amazing. I love it.
I don't know why they picked this stage to, have an optional song out of all of them.
This stage it's a unique case because it really feels like a Wily stage. This stage is so complicated. There's so many cool little features in it. Like, at the beginning, it has a special opening where Mega Man looks at the moon and watches it get revealed by the clouds. In one of the other screens, the one with the two dogs up there, the moon is visible again, and if you wait, it'll get covered up by clouds. And the dogs are actually werewolves, so they'll transform back into knights. This is another stage that has branching paths. It has a cool elevator section with zombies that jump through stained glass windows.
Yeah.
It's got so much cool stuff in it.
It's a shame we can't show any of it.
No. No, we absolutely cannot. All right, so Super Adapter is actually really tough to use optimally because you can't start charging again until the fist comes back.
Sock them toes, PJ. There you go.
So I'm punching him in a really specific way so that I'm close enough to grab the fist, and if I mistime it, then the fist has to follow me all the way back to the ground, and then I miss the cycle. But I didn't, so that's cool. We have some time for donations now, if you'd like to.
Oh, I'd be delighted to. We have $50 from Ricotta. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. Here's to PJ continuing to break games in very unique ways and to Team Poor Life Choices. And we have $100 from Match Caboose. Hey, good luck on one of my favorite runs, PJ. Here's a few bucks to a good cause. And $200 from Fubajube139. Happy 10-year anniversary, GDQ. Good luck to PJ on the run. Let's go, good boy Skip.
Yes. Thanks so much, everybody. So Shapeman rewards us with the actual best weapon in Mega Man 7, which is the Noise Crush. It is... It is devastating. Noise Crush is ridiculously good.
It's a better Mega Buster because the whole thing is you can charge it, but the way they wanted you to do is they want you to shoot at a wall and it rebounds and hits you again, and whenever you touch the wave, you just have this giant shot that you can shoot at and it kills everything. But it's really slow when you shoot it, so you just shoot and then slide into it like that, and you just instantly get the Devastator. It's incredible. This is a fun room.
This is like cheating.
Yeah, he just cheated. He didn't even...
How dare he?
Boo! Like this part, yeah.
Okay. So, that was the Super Adapter again. We have to use it to get to this platform. And this is where we get the Super Adapter upgrade, the Hyper Fist. So now instead of firing maybe a third of the screen, this will fire full screen and home. It's pretty awesome. Here's our next Turbo Man visit. There it was.
Yeah. There's meant to be a cutscene with Proto Man there, but he just kind of just said bye.
Yeah, I never knew about that until Fractal Fusion mentioned it, so shout-outs to him. Longtime, well-known Mega Man tasser. Yeah, so the cutscenes for Proto Man begin on the frame that you hit the ground in his room.
Yeah, so
Noise
essentially, like you start the cutscene on the same frame or very close to it whenever you're leaving the room. So the cutscene starts, so the game thinks you've sat through the whole thing, but you're just gone and you've beaten the stage by the time Proto Man's done talking.
Nope.
So this is the actual Turbo Man fight, which we were not expecting to see.
There's a thing about Noise Crush where, you'll shoot it and it'll bounce off walls like I mentioned before, and it keeps going even through cutscenes and things like that. So what you can do is you can shoot it as you enter the room, it'll just keep bouncing around, and it can hit the boss as its health is filling up, and the boss has such a low amount of health that it just dies.
Yeah, bosses in this are vulnerable once their health starts filling, not when you gain control in the battle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you
You got
can
another
choose them out.
chance on Springman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, something that a few people complain about is, like, I want to pick between all 8 of the dudes. I want to choose my guys at the start. But for speed purposes, you can't really... It wouldn't really matter
No,
like,
it
who
wouldn't.
you start with. You kind of have to do it in the same order no matter what. Like, you would start with Freeze in 100%. You'd start with Cloudman in any, mostly because of, like, the rush things that you get. And the weapons are so good at the beginning. Like, the first 4 weapons are all incredible.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really matter all that much. But the big thing is that, like, you think if Shademan's weapon has that property where it bounces back and forth, couldn't you just kill the majority of the bosses with it and save a lot of time? And the answer is no, because in order for it to work, the boss door has to be, like, low to the ground for you to shoot in and bounce around so that it actually hits them. But the majority of the other bosses don't have that property. Or in some cases, they get angry when you try to do it. Like,
Yeah.
Specifically Cloudman. So if you try to kill Cloudman very quickly, which you can do easily with, like, the danger wrap, if you shoot it in, you can trap Cloudman in the bubble. He calls this lightning down right before he gets hit by it, and it starts wrapping around the screen very rapidly until the game gets angry and just kills Mega Man instantly. So that... I don't know, the 2 places that it's done, like Springman and on Turbo, are the only ones where it really works.
Yeah.
Because there's something dumb everywhere that breaks the game when you try to do it.
Yeah, and as good as Noise Crush is, you would never want to try and do that stage first, because you'll never kill anything in this stage.
No, you're not gonna kill, like, the 8 health.
The crows that have 8 health. All right, so this is obviously Proto Man. The stage select, as you probably guessed by now, was not an accident. We do have to revisit, or rather, you have to go in this room to fight Proto Man after you visit him in Turbo and Cloudman stage. So we could either do Turbo Man first, or we can revisit Shade Man stage, and it just happens to be faster to do it this way.
We have to come back for the best item in the game.
Yeah, of course. So Proto Man either doesn't take damage or takes only 1 damage from everything except Mega Buster. And you can sometimes get these extra hits in, like I'm shooting over his shield sometimes and shooting, chasing the charge shot with lemons, and sometimes those will do extra damage. But the fight is just really slow, unfortunately. Yeah, so now we get the Proto Shield, which we absolutely don't want.
You can't give this to me. Don't give
Yeah, no,
I don't want it.
fine. No, it's okay.
No.
Yeah, so the problem with Proto Shield, besides everything, is that it's supposed to block things, but it doesn't block if you're jumping or moving. And you also can't move while you fire the Buster. So it's, they somehow made the Mega Buster worse.
It's purely defensive, which is like, why would you want to be defensive in a Mega Man game? It's the Jump and Shoot Man series for a reason. This is a really cool stage.
It is.
Like, most of the stages are neat, but I really like some of the gimmicks in this one. You get all these logs falling over the waterfalls.
I think since we had a Death and Freeze Man stage and missed some bubble cycles, I think I'll try and show another one of my favorite gimmicks in this stage.
Oh, please do.
So this is the power of Rush Jet, by the way. Rush Jet is, it's really weird in this game because you have full control still. You can slide on him. You can jump, you can move forward, backward, you can change the speed of him.
You essentially just set Rush Jet up and let him go while you do whatever on top of him while he's going.
Too bad.
So this T-Rex is so overwhelmingly powerful that whenever you spawn him and you leave the screen, he will follow you.
Yeah.
He does not leave you alone.
He leaves his jaw behind though, and then he finds a new jaw. He just starts equipping things from the stage.
It's really hard to do though, because you have to like hit the right spot for him to come down and then just climb down the ladder.
Yeah. It's all right though. So now we have to go save our friend Beat. Beat is in bird jail because of what he did in Mega Man 5. So we're gonna free him.
Thank you, Proto Man, for that hot tip to burn the forest down. We would have never saved the beat without him.
Never would have tried that.
No.
All right, now here comes Slash Man. Maybe Ion can go over what Slash Man does while I panic.
Okay. So Slash Man is very interesting in that he doesn't stick around for very long. He leaves after a little bit of time, or after you hit him a couple of times. Like this, he goes up, and he'll drop these little ketchup packets onto you. And if you get hit by one of them, you get stuck, and it sucks really bad. So it's random where they fall. So this is a very challenging fight just for that alone, I would say. Like having to manage the amount of times you hit Slash Man, plus all that other stuff.
It was a beautiful fight.
So you may have noticed he hit Slash Man 3 times, but Slash Man normally leaves like very, very quickly. So saving that last hit with the weakness weapon that freezes him is kind of the big play there, because he will also leave if you hit him with that instantly.
Yeah.
So getting in a couple of hits before, and then the freeze cracker at the end was good.
Yeah, once he commits to a jump, he'll also commit to using Slash Claw if he lands near you. So you have just enough time to hit him like as he does his jump. You hit him the second time, and before the AI script tells him to jump off screen, you can force him into slashing, and then you hit him again.
Yeah.
There's a super shenanigans way to get 4 hits in a cycle, and it never works.
It works. It works.
It sometimes just pretends that you didn't hit him.
If you shoot too early, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Springman stage used to be the most boring stage in the game for me. So I added a bunch of really difficult stuff that barely saves time, and now it's pretty fun.
Yeah. This is one stage where there's not really a lot going on, like background-wise, so you can use Junk Shield and not really worry about much slowdown. But then there's PJ who thought it was really boring, so he just does all this other stuff instead.
Yeah, so one of my goals, since the weapons are so good in this game, is to try and use ammo evenly. So there's not just like one weapon that's going to be soaking up the weapon refills if I get one. This way, like if I get a weapon refill, I'm only going to be losing like 8 frames or something.
Oh, the Proto Shield.
No
dude.
thanks.
I was excited for a second.
Nope.
Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, the secret tech. I've been hiding it. Yeah, we're going to use Dog Suit again here. So the special item that's hidden in this stage is Otto's Hyperbolt. So if you go to Otto's shop, now some things are half price, and I think he has more inventory. I think that's what unlocks that.
Yeah. Like most of the stuff that you'd be able to get from like the research thing where you dig them up, he doesn't get a lot of that inventory until you get that Hyperbolt. But we're not even going to visit the shop at all.
No.
I feel like a lot of people don't know the shop exists. You just press select on the boss select screen.
Wow, really? That one felt good. All right, well, we missed it, but on the plus side, we get to do the most fun fight in the game.
So the weapons that PJ's using on Springman here are not his weaknesses at all, except for Slash right there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you see how long he's invincible, like when he's kind of like blinking? I don't know if that shows up on the screen, but whenever he's flickering like that, it's a good, like, what, 3 seconds?
It's 3 full seconds.
3 whole
of
seconds where
invincibility.
he's not vulnerable at all. So
Yeah.
you can just slash him over and over, or if you're really good, you can do what PJ was doing and just hit him with a bunch of little things to speed it up a tiny bit.
Yeah, so he dies in 7 hits from Slash Claw, but it's faster by 3.5 seconds, to hit him 14 times with assorted other weapons instead, just because you get shorter invincibility frames.
Yeah, because it's normally like 1 second of invincibility per hit or something.
Yeah.
So with the math on that, it comes out to be a little bit better, despite the massive amount of damage Slash Claw does.
Yeah. All right, this is our last weapon. Dr. Light tells us how to use Wild Coil, and immediately afterwards, the lab is destroyed.
I don't know what happened.
Did you know you can charge up Wild Coil?
I didn't mean like this.
Was that you, Mega Man?
Like the only thing that survived in this lab is the Met helmet on the table in the corner.
Mega Man should have kept it. It's indestructible.
The other really important thing here is that this computer on the left side, the one that's shaped like Otto, its expression actually changes. So during all the other cutscenes, he has circle eyes, and now he has like the equal sign eyes.
He's very upset.
Mm-hmm. All right, we've got some more time for donations if you'd like to.
Yeah, absolutely. We have $25 from Mode Wondershot. Best of luck to one of my favorite streamers, PJ. Send Wiley tumbling down the stairs. And $50 from HJA. Best of luck to PJ on Mega Man 7. Shout outs to the best community in speedrunning.
Agreed.
And $100 from Frenzic. First time donating. Love me some AGDQ Mega Man runs. Great run and great commentary. Keep on rocking.
Hey, if you like Mega Man runs at AGDQ, there's a sweet Mega Man relay Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be Mega Man 4 through 6.
That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing. And then, of course, there's also Mega Man X Race, 100% race, and X3, 100%, and X4, I think on Friday. Something like that. There's plenty of Mega Man, really good content. All right, so these are the castle stages. These are really complicated and have some really cool strats.
But they have some jams playing in the background.
Yeah.
Get revenge on these little dudes.
Yes.
For all the times they've killed me.
Yeah, so that's a spot where you traditionally use junk shields, and you would use it in the upcoming room as well, but junk shield has some problems in these rooms.
This is another room where, because of all the birds, it causes a lot of lag unless you get them like instantly.
Scorch Wheel is so underappreciated.
Okay, nice. Rush coming to the rescue again here. As soon as he does that slick jump there.
Okay. Rush is a good boy.
Very good boy.
All right. So coming up is base. Good guy base again. This fight is completely deterministic, so as long as I move consistently, base is always going to take the same actions. So you can like choreograph this really elaborate dance, and hopefully it goes well.
Oh yeah, so one thing I'm gonna mention really quick. You would think, but the door is set up perfectly, why don't you just shoot the noise crush through and insta-kill base or whatever? That monologue he has lasts so long that the noise crush will disappear before he's done talking.
Yeah. That was a perfect fight, too.
That was a really good fight.
That was the earliest jump you can kill him, and I ended right by the door. So, in contrast to the perfect fight we just saw, here's Gutsman G. He's going to show us what happens.
When you get too cocky, Guts G is here to ruin it.
There it is, bar block.
He can
Charge, nice.
He can charge at you like this and try to grab you, but if you just slide into him, you're kind of too low for him to grab. He can make those rocks fall down, which you can knock into him and do a lot of damage.
That was awesome. Really good fight.
That was a good fight.
Yeah.
He proved us wrong.
Wonderful stage.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
right,
we know
Gammerizer.
we know what's coming up next.
That's the attitude of Guts G. He doesn't do what you tell him. He's like, he's gonna ruin everything. He's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. I'll show you. I'll show me. All right, Wily 2 is probably my favorite of the castle stages. I really love this stage. There's so much cool tech, but it also has one of the most frustrating bosses. So I think I'm in the minority here, but it's a cool level.
It's a really nice level. It has a lot of nice, like, uses of the weapons because it's very, like, vertical as opposed to a lot of other stages. That and it has probably one of my favorite fights in the mini boss that's about to come up. It's a very, very fun fight.
Barely snuck by there. Ooh. Okay. Let's see if I can get the fight for you, Ion.
Oh, yeah.
So there are a bunch of ways to fight Base 2. He's also kind of deterministic, but there's one random component to him. He'll pick a side, left or right at certain points. But I developed this vertical fight, which is quite a bit different from the other ones.
Yeah, he fights him entirely different from everybody else.
All right, left side. He's too far to the right for some reason.
Yeah.
This might actually work.
Oh, no.
No, it won't. I have not actually seen him do this before.
Oh, goodness.
No, I have not seen him do that before.
No.
So when he picks left side, sometimes he doesn't go left enough. What's ammo like?
Yeah. The main key to this thing is you want to kind of space him properly so that when he jumps, he lands on the next platform up.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. Like, you don't want him to get stuck down there because then he flies around and shoots you with his homing fist that does like a quarter of your health bar or something ridiculous.
And his position on the left side should be based on where Mega Man is, so I'm not really sure why he did that.
There we go. This is much better.
We'll just do that.
Wonderful. Good fight.
All right, so we're a little bit short on ammo. I should be able to kill the tire guy with Buster. It should take 4 shots after this. All right.
Or like 10, you know.
Or like 10.
It's
Ooh. So I like to use coil for the entire second half of this stage. Just to build morale with Rush.
Rush really needs to be in top form for the final fight.
Okay. Good. So here's Gammerizer. Yeah, you wanna say some words?
Okay, so he does
There
that.
we are.
So when he's ramming his head against the wall, you can't do anything. And the amount of time he rams against the wall is variable. He can ram into it like once or like 5 times. So if you're going for a good time, then it's pretty much on Game Risers to where whether you lose or gain like 10 or 15 seconds or something ridiculous. The amount of times he spits fire is also variable too, and the longer he sticks his neck out, the more times you can hurt him. So that was a pretty good.
That was fine, yeah.
That was good. But like the worst fight you can get are where he sticks his head out, spits fire once, instantly pulls his head back in,
He rams him all
against
4
the wall
times.
like 4 or 5 times, leaves, and then just repeats it again. And you don't have enough time to like kill him in that amount of time. So
Yeah, the best feeling is when he starts his second mini turtle cycle when you're 1 hit away from killing him and you just have to sit there.
oh, it's
and watch.
great.
Yeah, as you saw, you can put the mini turtles in a bubble with Danger Wrap and you can kick it back into him and it does, I think, 8 damage.
It's 8, yeah.
It's the strongest damage source in the game.
Danger App is very, very good. This is another level that has a lot of vertical segments. The first screen is the most infamous, though.
Can you believe that these are jumps that they thought were reasonable?
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah, worth clapping for.
Did it. He beat the game.
Yeah, we're just gonna do that. If you get a drop there, no,
Yes.
no.
Don't worry, Ion. It'll happen one day.
No, it won't.
No, it won't.
It won't.
If it happens one day, there's been a terrible accident. Nice, double.
I mean, you already made a terrible accident by having me on couch, so.
It's true.
Whatever. Good.
I probably should grab an extra life.
This one really sucks.
Yes.
You
Yes, it
can
does.
kind of tell, like, wow, I really wouldn't want to do that, and nobody does. So just use Rush. He's your best friend.
He is, yeah, he's everybody's best friend except Wily. This is another branching stage. So in the room that sucks, you can take the bottom path, and there's a spike maze followed by a mini boss followed by another spike maze, auto scroller. Or you can take the top path and get goodies.
Yeah. If you take the bottom path, you get an E-tank after dying 20 times to an underwater spike maze. Or you can take the top route and get an S-tank, which refills your weapon energy, too.
Yeah, an E-tank and an S-tank and a W-tank.
Yeah.
Come on, Mega Man.
This is a pretty straightforward fight. Not too much to say other than, like, he's only vulnerable up top, like where the little green triangle is on his head.
Sometimes his nose.
Yeah. It's kind of because he bobs up and down. It's kind of hard to know where exactly to hit him, but it's fine. It's fine.
All right, so coming up are the refights. There shouldn't be any risk of dying.
Nah.
But how many lives do I have? I should maybe grab one just in case. Because the refight stage is like 6 minutes long. It's an ordeal.
You might have none.
Yeah, I think I do.
Because you've died a good amount of times.
We had 2 unintentional and 1 intentional.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there you go. You're fine.
Yeah. So, like we mentioned a few times, we want to avoid the flinch animation at all costs. So we're going to be using soft weaknesses for a lot of these fights.
Yeah. And by soft weaknesses, he means like things that do more than 1 damage. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so we're going to use Noise Crush plus Freeze Cracker on Slash Man. We're going to be using Scorch Wheel on Freeze instead of Junk Shields. And Noise Crush again on Spring Man. The refights are pretty neat. We almost used all of... Nice.
Ooh. Oh, so I didn't think that was going to come up, but one thing Slash can do, whenever he's slashing at you, he will destroy anything that's there. So if you shoot him with anything, whether it's a Buster Shot or Noise Crush, it's just obliterated. Which is why you jump over him when you shoot Slash most of the time. Speaking of soft weaknesses, Scorch Wheel's a very good one on Freeze Man here, because it just does a ton of damage.
Nice. Yeah, it does 3 damage instead of 4, but again, it doesn't invoke the flinch animation. It gives him shorter iframes, and I think it only requires 2 extra hits.
Yeah.
I think it's 9 instead of 7. And it's a much more fun fight.
Oh, agreed. It's also much less laggy.
Yes. Yeah, if you do it properly, you'll kill Freeze Man before he makes the icicles on the ceiling again. And when you kill him with the icicles up there, it's lag festival.
It's especially bad if you get the really bad animation where he pops up to the top of the screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was hot. Cool, yeah. Nice.
So Charged Noise Crush does 2 damage and Danger Wrap does 4. So if I hit Cloudman with 2 Charged Noise Crushes while he's out of reach, we save 1 hit. And now we get this fight again. Again, we don't want to use Slash Claw, so we're going to be using Noise Crush here.
The fight's going to be very similar to before.
Is it? Really?
With some differences.
This should be fine, actually.
Yeah, you'll get him with another Slash.
Oh. Will I?
You keep me on my toes.
Yeah.
Oh, so when he's trying to slide into each of these boss teleporters, he has to walk for a little bit. Otherwise, he's going to actually make the elevator go down, and that's a bad thing.
Elevator sucks, because all you have to do is press down and it makes you move. So you can press down and jump at the same time for a slide, and it'll still read it as, you want to move the elevator down, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I got you.
Got you, man.
All right, burst again. This fight, unfortunately, you just have to deal with it. But he doesn't get a lot of additional iframes from hitting with the weakness, so it's still a pretty quick fight. And
Yeah. He gets knocked backwards, but he's right next to the wall, so it doesn't really matter that much anyways.
Yeah. All right, so on Shade Man, I'm going to be intentionally taking damage. I want to take damage 3 times against him. And also, for some reason, the boss room and Shade Man's, in the refight is shorter, so I'm able to just jump up and hit him with Wild Coil instead of bouncing it.
Yeah, as nice as the Super Adapter fight is, it's still faster to do with Coil. And since you have it, you may as well.
All right, let's see what Rush does.
See if we get this through.
All right, Rush. So what we're hoping for here is an ammo drop or a health drop. There's no special item here, so Rush can find anything. Yes!
Yeah!
All right, now we have the second part. Yes! Woo!
Yes!
Good job.
That was Wily Machine.
That was awesome.
So Rush Surge can interrupt your... he can interrupt cutscenes, so you gain control in the middle of the cutscene. And since bosses are vulnerable while their health is filling, you can just kill Wily Machine before the battle begins.
This is one of the hardest final bosses in Mega Man, I think.
Yeah.
Even when you know what to do, it's a little finicky because he can appear in one of 8 or 9 spots. I forget the exact number.
But 8 spots.
8 spots, yeah. But thankfully, he does the exact same thing every time where he just shoots these out. And the way to dodge them is they kind of move towards you twice. All 4 of the orbs move towards you once, a little bit, and then they move to your next spot. So ideally, you want to move to a spot that's like on the opposite side, and then you move away, so they're flying like away from you.
It's some pattern.
Yeah, it's something.
So I can hit him twice with charged coil. It's the only thing that does 2 damage to him. But I can only hit him twice with charged coil on the low spawns.
Yeah.
For all the other ones, I can do a charged coil and then a freeze cracker, or if he's in the top center like he's been giving me, I can only hit him once.
Yeah, it really sucks, but one of the biggest time variances in this run is the final boss tier.
Yeah.
Because, like, you see how long he can be gone for. So, if he spawns up top and you can't do anything, then you're just having to sit through so many more of these.
All right, well, we made it through.
We did it.
That was interesting. But yeah, that's Mega Man 7. The bonus of playing the English version is we get this excellent flavor text at the end. Mega Man has finally had enough of Wily escaping.
He's had it.
I gonna do what I should have done years ago. But everything's fine in the end. We don't need to see how this resolves. We'll just yeah. So that's Mega Man 7. I hope you enjoyed it. This game's awesome. If you're interested in learning how to run this game or any of the other classic Mega Man games, feel free to check out the classic Mega Man Discord. We're all happy to help any way we can. If you liked this and you want to see more Mega Man, again, the Mega Man Relay. I'm more than a robot.
Get him, dude.
He had his chance. Yeah, the Mega Man Relay again is going to be Wednesday night, Mega Man 4 through 6. So you can see the events leading up to this. Why Beat is in Bird Jail and why Wily's in the other jail. Yep, I think
He's setting up for the quick kill right now. You see him tiptoeing.
Unless you guys have anything else, I'm good here. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for the support, and keep on watching. We're just getting started here.
Thank you so much, PJ, for that fantastic Mega Man 7 run. And it seems that everybody out there has been really enjoying it as well. There has been a whole lot of love coming in. We have $10 from Will Gallant. Thank you, PJ, PLC, and Games Done Quick for all the entertainment throughout the years. And just remember, do the thing. Let this donation go to PJ's choice. And we have $25 from Mr. Cab 55. Let's go, PJ. Don't freeze up. Burst Wily's bubble and get his head out of the clouds. Bust up his junk robots. Slash through his traps. Spring into action and throw shade at him at turbo speeds. Based PJ. Thank you, Mr. Cab. All right, Speed friends. So I'm going to be signing off here shortly. I'll be back later on this week, but don't worry, I'm leaving you with Geek Etiquette. She'll take very good care of you. We're just going to go ahead and jump off into our sponsor video, and she'll be back afterward. Actually, surprise, surprise, you get to be stuck with me for just a little bit longer. All right, we have $100 from Maikuyama's mom. Great work, everybody. I'm proud to be part of all this. $100 from Psy228, $100 for 10 years of greatness. I'm so excited for this week of runs and fun and look forward to the next decade of awesome. Looking forward to all the runs and can't wait to throw more donations in during my favorite games. Thank you, everyone, for all you do. We have $50 from McClanahan. I had to donate $50 for Riven because I need to see a game that took me 11 years to beat get finished in less than 15 minutes. Oh boy, I feel that one. Riven was part of my childhood as well. And McClanahan is, of course, talking about the Riven Opera Easter egg donation incentive, which is at a little bit over 2,300 of 3,000. So that one's pretty close to being met. If you want to see a little bit more of that Riven, that Cyan Games goodness, get those donations in. And I'd also like to call